Let's go to the Western Cape, where, of course, the Garden Route authorities say they are keeping a very close watch on the wildfire situation within the area as winds begin to pick up across the region today. Mkhokheli Bandla spoke to the MMC for Community Safety in Mossel Bay, Leon van Dijk, who also confirmed that while conditions remain a concern, the situation is currently relatively under control. Monitoring continues as teams remain on high alert.
We are now going to speak to the MMC for Safety here in the Garden Route. He is standing by to talk to us, also to get a perspective of the political perspective from the council, and to make sure that if there are any efforts that they are doing in terms of assisting the affected families and the displaced because of the situation. MMC, if you can also give us the latest in terms of the political perspective, and also maybe the discussions that you've had as political principals in the area regarding the situation.
Thank you. Good morning to all the listeners. I'll start off with two things first, and then I'll answer the rest of the questions, if that is okay. Sure. I think if we could start off with leadership, if you could see the fire chief is walking the lines himself, which I think shows leadership. And if you see what he looks like, it means that he's on the ground. Yes, and I think that is our perspective in terms of being on the ground, playing a role, making sure that we play our part. So there's a lot of support from a collaborative perspective. You've seen all the people come in, you've seen all the bakkie-sakkies, you've seen the neighborhood watches. But what you haven't heard of possibly is that you've received 11 firefighters from Pretoria. Okay. That arrived last night. The chief put them directly onto the line. Those 11 people took 5 days leave out of their own pocket to assist Mossel Bay. So we want to say a big thank you to them. Getting back to the support, we had Minister Bredelia yesterday, as you would know. We also had Minister Isaac Seleko yesterday, and they were also evaluating. So yesterday we had the opportunity to air survey, and it's just through the grace of God, if you physically look at some of the instances and skill of the firemen on the ground. With regards to help and assistance to people, a fund has been created by the Mossel Bay municipality, so all those details are made available. As we speak, there are 30 volunteers sorting out clothes and furniture and all sorts, and we are registering people to be able to assist them. So I think we've done a lot with regards to making sure that those people that have been affected are actually assisted. So that's just one small part from a food perspective and commodity perspective. The chaplaincy services did well from a voluntary perspective yesterday and the day before, and since the 5th actually, to make sure that food is received, food parcels are given out, and that there's a food bank for the people working on the ground. So collaboratively, you could not wish for better. And I would like to say what Minister Bredel said yesterday: you build relationships over years, and then there's a point that you need those relationships. Mossel Bay has always been lucky. We've always had the relationships, and we will continue to service those relationships and hold those relationships. So the chief and I will be visiting some of the lines now, and then we will also be visiting some of the volunteers. But what you're seeing on the ground is leadership, and that's what we want.
Any specific lessons drawn from this unfortunate situation?
I think, we keep on saying to people to look at making sure that they look at their fire containment measures. We often speak about making sure that it's scraped, that it's cleaned. And this is a typical example where we're saying this is why we're asking for these type of behaviors. But this morning we had 2 incidents in town already, as Dion has referred to. Open flames, a braai in a 35-kilometer wind on a veranda. Fire unattended. And these are the typical things that I think we should be thinking of. As Dion rightfully said, is the channels are open. We've opened some of the communication channels as well. There's continuous media statements going out from our offices. And although the operational room is closed, it does not mean that the personnel that work there is not functional on the ground. So we are coordinating on the ground from today.
MMC, thank you so much. Let me leave you and go and do your job and make sure that the residents of Mossel Bay are quite safe.
And thank you very much for the work that you are doing by enlightening the public in terms of what they can expect.
It's indeed our pleasure. Thank you. There you have it, SABC viewers, that is the current situation here in Mossel Bay. We spoke to the MMC for safety in the Garden Route and also the fire chief in the Garden Route to give us the latest and updating us on the current happenings here in the area. So we'll be your eyes and ears in the area to make sure that the viewers of the SABC are quite abreast of the current situation. The challenge that they are now telling us about is the strong winds that have started to blow and are going to impact on the job that they are doing in terms of trying to contain the situation. But for now, things are quite in order relatively. The situation is arrested. But as the winds are starting to blow a bit hard and we are going to be here on the ground to give you the latest on what is going to happen and also the continuation of the job of the MMC for safety and also the fire chief here in the Garden Route.